The night I agreed to bring a fake date to my ex-girlfriend's engagement party, I thought I was protecting my pride. I had no idea I was walking straight into the moment that would change my life forever. When I saw her across the hotel ballroom, wearing a midnight blue dress, standing under the golden chandeliers of the Grand Harbor Hotel in Chicago, my heart stopped. Because the woman smiling at me, the one I had hired to pretend to be my date for one humiliating evening, was my CEO. Before we begin, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the unexpected ways life rewrites our stories, take a moment to like this video, comment where you're watching from, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to the channel. You never know whose life might change because you did. My name is Ryan Carter, and at 29 I was barely keeping my head above water in Chicago, Illinois. I worked as a mid-level financial analyst at a tech company called Northbridge Systems. The company had grown fast in the past few years, especially after a new CEO took over, someone brilliant, visionary, and intimidatingly private. I had seen her only once during a company-wide virtual meeting. Her name was Victoria Hale. To me, she was just a distant figure on a screen. Sharp, confident, unreachable. Meanwhile, my personal life was a disaster. 2 months earlier, my girlfriend of 4 years, Madison, had left me for someone wealthier, someone more established. That word haunted me. Established. It echoed every time I checked my bank account or drove my 10-year-old Honda Civic through downtown traffic. When the invitation to her engagement party arrived, I should have thrown it away. Instead, pride took over. I didn't want to show up alone, looking like the guy she upgraded from. So, after a week of internal debate, I did something completely out of character. I hired a professional companion from a reputable agency, just for the evening. No lies beyond the party, no drama, just someone elegant who could help me survive 3 hours of forced smiles and quiet humiliation. The woman assigned to me introduced herself over the phone as Claire. Her voice was calm and warm, with a quiet confidence that made me feel slightly less ridiculous about the whole arrangement. We agreed to meet directly at the venue to keep things simple. I arrived early, palms sweating despite the February chill outside. The ballroom glowed with polished marble floors and soft jazz drifting from a live band. Madison was already there, glowing in white, her fiancé standing beside her like a trophy she had won. My stomach twisted, then I saw her. Claire walked through the entrance in a deep blue dress that shimmered subtly under the lights. Her hair fell in soft waves over her shoulders, and she carried herself with a grace that turned heads without trying. For a moment I forgot to breathe. She spotted me immediately and smiled, a small, reassuring smile that steadied something inside my chest. As she approached, recognition slammed into me like a freight train. I had seen that face before, the posture, the eyes. Victoria Hale, my CEO, the same woman who had delivered a speech about company growth and strategic vision just weeks ago, the woman whose approval determined promotions, bonuses, careers. Time slowed. My brain screamed that this had to be some cosmic joke. But her expression didn't change. She didn't look shocked or angry. Instead, her eyes held something softer, almost amused. Panic surged through me. Had she recognized me too? Of course she had. There was no way she wouldn't. I worked directly under the finance department that reported to her executive team, but she slipped her hand gently into mine as if this were the most natural thing in the world. The warmth of her touch was real, grounding, human. And in that single look we shared, something shifted. The first hour of the party felt like walking a tightrope over open air. I was hyper-aware of every move, every word. I expected her to pull away, to whisper that this was inappropriate, to walk out. Instead, she played her role flawlessly, asking thoughtful questions, laughing at the right moments, introducing herself simply as Claire. Yet there was nothing fake about the way she looked at me. Not calculating, not judgmental, curious. When Madison finally approached us, her eyes flickered with surprise. I watched her scan Claire, Victoria, from head to toe, clearly unsettled. For the first time since the breakup, I didn't feel small. I didn't feel replaced. I felt steady. The strange thing was, beneath the tension and the absurdity of the situation, I began to relax. Victoria asked about my family, my dreams, what I wanted beyond spreadsheets and quarterly reports. No one had asked me that in years. I told her about how I used to sketch building designs as a kid, how I secretly wanted to start my own financial consulting firm one day but never felt established enough. She listened like it mattered. By the time the engagement toast began, something inside me had changed. I wasn't there to prove anything anymore. I wasn't measuring myself against Madison's new life. I was simply present, with a woman who saw me beyond my job title or my bank balance. Halfway through the evening, she leaned closer, not in performance but in quiet honesty, and told me she had recognized me the moment she saw my name on the booking request. She hadn't canceled, because, as she later admitted, she was tired of being only the CEO, tired of boardrooms and polished personas. She had signed up with the agency months ago under a pseudonym to experience normal conversations without expectations. My heart pounded as she revealed this. The powerful executive everyone feared was standing beside me because she wanted for one night to be seen as just a woman. And somehow, fate had placed us in each other's path. After the party ended, neither of us rushed to leave. We walked outside into the freezing Chicago air, the city skyline glittering against the dark sky. The silence between us wasn't awkward. It was fragile, like something sacred forming. I expected her to draw a line, to remind me that on Monday morning, she would still be my CEO. But instead, she spoke about loneliness, about how success had cost her real connection, about how people treated her differently the moment they learned her title. I admitted my insecurity, how being left for someone richer had cracked something in me, how hiring her had been an act of desperation, not confidence. For the first time in years, I felt understood. The following Monday at the office, everything looked the same, but felt entirely different. When Victoria walked into the executive conference room, she carried the same authority as always. Yet when her eyes briefly met mine across the table, there was warmth there. Recognition, a shared secret. Weeks passed. We kept things professional at work, cautious and respectful. But outside the office, we met for coffee, for long walks along Lake Michigan, for conversations that stretched late into the night. We didn't rush anything. We didn't label it. What changed everything wasn't her power or her wealth. It was the way she encouraged me to apply for the internal leadership program I had been too afraid to pursue. The way she challenged my excuses gently but firmly. She never gave me advantages. She gave me belief. I worked harder than I ever had, not to impress her, but to prove to myself that I wasn't defined by someone else's rejection. 6 months later, I earned a promotion based purely on performance metrics and peer reviews. The night I told her, she smiled in a way that made the entire struggle worth it. Our relationship eventually became public, but only after I transferred to a different division to remove any conflict of interest. It wasn't easy. There were whispers, doubts, but we faced them together. Looking back, I realized the fake date was never about making Madison jealous. It was about confronting my own sense of worth. Sometimes life arranges the most embarrassing, uncomfortable situations to force us into growth. Sometimes the person you think is out of your league is simply waiting to meet the real you. If this story has touched your heart even a little, please like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe for more stories that remind us how powerful unexpected moments can be. Your support truly means everything. And before this story ends, I have one small request. Comment the word worthy if you believe that your value is not defined by who walked away from you. Because that night, under golden chandeliers in a Chicago ballroom, I learned something I'll never forget. I didn't need to look richer, stronger, or more established to be enough. All it took was one unexpected look, from the woman who turned out to be my CEO, to finally see myself clearly.